Welcome, Pathfinders, back to the Find the Path Adventure Path playthrough. I am your host, Rick Sandidge. I am joined by my players. I think we all introduced ourselves again, like episode 12. Decided it was going to be every...
I don't remember, but we're awesome.
Yep.
I feel like we should all introduce ourselves, because it's weird that only Rick introduces himself.
Those are the exact words that you used when we introduced ourselves.
Because it's weird.
Because it's weird. Maybe I'll get to the point where I stop introducing myself.
Yeah. It's like, if no one introduces himself, that's cool. But if
when
one
you're
person
only
does,
doing...
that's weird.
Yeah.
It's just how I start the episode.
It's episode 14, by the way.
It is episode 14. I don't know if there's anything special about the number 14. It's 7 together twice, so it's doubly lucky, I suppose.
Blue October is really big into the number 14.
There's a 4 in it, which means it's bad news in Chinese culture.
It means we've survived episode 13.
13's a great number.
13
yes, the episode that never ended.
It's still going now.
I was going to say, we just haven't stopped recording.
That fight just continues on into eternity. It never really stopped, guys.
I have no idea if we're cutting that down or not.
When last we left our heroes, you guys had continued your exploration of the House of Pentheru. You had made your way onto the second floor.
Sudi was tripping.
Sudi was kind of tripping.
Gosh darn it.
Stupid suggestion.
Yeah. The bane of all martial characters everywhere.
Will
and
saves.
I suppose Unchained Monks, because Unchained Monks lost the good will save.
Yeah, so I have good fortitude, good reflex, poor will.
We found Jumanji, but we're not going to open that, so I guess we're not going to be whisked away to a gaming...
So yeah, the party had a fight.
It's gameception.
Yes, the party had a fight against a trio of flying heads at that point. Mm-hmm. 2 of them were...
Gargoyles.
You know, I really meant to take this word and take it to Dean, who is our cameraman and helps with audio stuff.
Resident
Vargoyle. Vargoyle? I think it's French. So, you know, he speaks French, and I was like, oh, he'd probably be able to translate that for me. But I'm going to say Vargoyle.
You mean what
it's like a gargoyle.
I'm going to go with Vargoyle.
Well, it's Vargouille.
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 If you're
Andouille sausage, right?
If you actually speak French and can give us a pronunciation of that, we'd appreciate it in the comments.
Yeah, you have to record yourself saying it though, because reading phonetically is hard.
And then you had to fight a flying head, which appeared to be something akin to like a bestial gorilla-like head with 6 horns that had
Emanesh.
Yes, Emanesh. Before you guys had grappled it, pulled it to the ground, and then stabbed it to death with arrows.
I cuddled it.
It's kind of like when you wrangle your cat. You have to pin it down.
You squish it. That's vet-approved advice. Squish them.
Luna gets wrapped in a blanket every night while her antacid pill gets
But he has no scruff of the neck to grab.
You just have to grab the horns. You grab the bull or the head by the horns.
So now we were going to go outside and explore the mausoleum, which was the last bit of this
and hopefully
place.
that centipede is chilling.
He's way over this way, and that's mausoleum's way over that way, and we're exiting in the middle, so hopefully it's all good, bro.
Let's just be a little stealthy.
Before you guys had set out, you had finished exploring the upper floor.
Yes.
You had found the bedrooms of the 2 children.
Yes.
Which appeared to have been the daughter who had died, although you'd found her hope chest, as well as the ancient wedding dress that she still had within it. So sad times. You had also found what appeared to have been the younger child's room, judging by the fact that you found a copy of Jumanji.
We did!
As well as
the board game version, not the video game.
Yes, the board game version, not the video game. It was next to his Xbox.
It was a box with an X on it.
Yeah, and you'd found the office, you'd explored that. You had also found, hidden inside of a decrepit old wasp nest,
The cursed headband.
The cursed headband.
That turns people into those flying skull things we fought.
Yeah, the headband of your head be popping off.
Only if you die. So if you live forever, you can just wear the headband.
So it only is for vampires, I guess.
I mean, would it not pop a head off a vampire?
What if they
usually crumple
Well,
like
is
dust.
it die or is it undead? Because if you put it on a skeleton, does the head fall off?
Well, to be fair, Pathfinder actually goes with a really complicated means by which of killing vampires, which is if you're not using sunlight or immersing them in running water, it is...
You have to
stake them through the heart.
And the holy wafer in the mouth.
Holy wafer in the mouth.
And decapitate.
Anoint them with holy water and then
then
decapitate them. It's the only way to kill a vampire.
Yeah, so they should be chill.
So then once the decapitation happens, then the head would go flying.
It's like a vampire's like contingency plan.
Although to be fair...
you want to behead me? Fine.
Although, to be fair, if you kill the vampire, which is like a challenge rating minimum, I think 8 or 9, the challenge rating 1/2 beheaded isn't going to be much of a beef for
It is if you go to sleep directly after. Also, I was meaning like vampires are technically dead.
True.
They're undead. The headband bad.
Headband is bad. So, all of you are standing upstairs now. I'm going to get a little bit
I think we'd gone back downstairs, hadn't we? Had we not?
No, you just finished exploring.
We had talked about going back to the
office.
mausoleum and doing that now.
So
Now we're going to quietly sneak to the mausoleum in case the centipede is hungry for a
You're
snack.
real funny.
Real quick,
You can try.
Was the weird, like, figure that we saw running outside, was that related to the gargoyle, or is it...
You have no idea. You saw him twice, once outside and once inside.
But we haven't seen
him since.
I think he has something to do with that creepy head guy.
Okay. I just didn't know if it was, like, a separate ghosty thing happening, or if it was, like, just the gargoyle messing with our heads.
It could. Why not both?
Why not?
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is you don't know... I believe you guys were able to identify the gargoyle.
I think so.
But you have no idea what that other thing was or what it was capable of. It was turning invisible and charming Sudi and doing all sorts of other crazy
no
stuff.
idea
Oh,
what
yeah,
that
did we
is.
murder that thing?
Yeah, it's dead.
Okay.
That was the thing you wrangled?
Oh, that was the thing I wrangled. I'm doing like a hand motion like I'm gripping horns. Anyway.
So I suppose we will make our way downstairs and out into the side yard.
Where did that skull go? Did it like dissipate into nothingness?
What skull?
The guy I wrangled.
It's still laying on the ground.
Corpse.
It'd
Do you
be
want to
pretty
take
cool
it with
if
you?
it was just a bone. Anyway,
Don't take it with
you
us.
could put it on like if it was defleshed, like a cool mantelpiece.
No.
Cut one of its horns off.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you wanted to, you could cut some horns off before you guys take
I
off.
will cut some horns off and put them on a cool helmet
I
or
mean,
something.
if nothing else, we might want
Pauldrons.
to take it to,
I mean-
to identify it and figure out what the heck it is.
I really think we should just leave it.
People snort mummy dust. Why wouldn't they snort horn dust?
I don't want to snort. I want to make a really cool
not doing
pauldron to
drugs
put
here.
upon my shoulders, or like a cool helm, Skyrim style.
So, what are we going to do with this thing?
Leave it like we've left all the other creepy corpses behind.
It was a pretty...
I'm gonna take those. I'm gonna take those horns. I'm gonna make
Why?
really
you know what
cool
you should
armor.
do? No. You have a cat now.
I think I have a cat, maybe.
You should totally make armor for your cat and then put the horns on the back of it
That would be very
and make
cool.
it look like spikes on the back of your cat.
Yes,
Have you
yes.
trained the cat to wear armor?
Don't know. Can do it though. Sagira starts to cut the horns off to put them in their backpack.
Do we want to take this back so it could be identified?
I
Because
think
we
we
don't
should
know what it is.
Just leave it here.
No, it's mostly fleshy and gross, but I'm gonna take the horns.
It's quite dead.
But inquiring minds want to know.
I'm not
What-
carting that back through
Make
town.
a sketch.
If you want to...
Roughly how much does this thing weigh, Rick? Do we know?
That is a
I have a
good
horn. Can't I just take the
question.
horn back?
Because I'm wondering, like, how onerous would it be to actually carry it back? Because I'm kind of curious. What? Sudi's inquisitive. He's
You're
like,
gonna walk around in the hot summer day with a dead thing strapped to you?
depending on how heavy it is.
It's gonna drip on you.
It's full of
Oh, it's
you.
definitely gonna.
I have its horns. Somebody,
It's a
a
mess.
good enough identifier of beasties could tell you what this is based on these horns.
Could they? I don't know. Sudi doesn't have knowledge. Wait, do I have knowledge nature? No, Sudi doesn't have knowledge nature, so
Some of
I don't
those-
know
It
if
was
that's
arcane
possible.
or planes. It was one of those two. I can't remember which one it was.
Some of those, like, historian types that occasionally die in the desert trying to adventure there know a lot of things about bones. So I imagine they could use these horns to know things.
Bigger than a regular size head. I'm going to say it's about 20 pounds.
Okay, not probably gonna do that.
I think we should go downstairs.
Sagira
and
has
explore
taken the horns.
mausoleum.
Do you have craft sketching?
I mean, I have craft painting.
I have
Okay,
profession
I could-
bodyguard.
Just
Give me
take a piece
about
of
20
paper.
minutes, I can paint a picture of it.
Take a piece of paper and just, like,
That's
Roll
not
it.
going to work.
make an impression.
Do it-
like,
do an etching
like
of
the
it?
veil of whatever with
Shroud
the
of Turin.
face. Yes. I did not just compare this evil creature to Jesus, by the way. I just mean the process of squishing its face on cloth.
I'm with Onuris. I think we should just leave it. But the horns would be interesting.
I'm taking the horns.
Like,
I took the
that's-
horns. I don't know how long it takes to take the horns.
I would say probably by the time that you guys have finished scrounging up all the rest of the stuff from the other rooms, finished kind of appraising the items, and then carefully putting them inside of your bags. None of you, of course, have anything akin to like a handy haversack or anything, so I think you just have sacks that you're stuffing this stuff
Yep.
inside of.
Yep.
Sacks.
So I'm pretty sure you probably want to wrap some of the more breakable items like that
I have
in
my
an ancient
scarf.
board game.
Like, pieces that are.
I was gonna say, it's
We've
mostly
used
burned.
your scarf.
I
picked
burned
up
most
some-
of it, but like.
some clothing and stuff. So we have like actually a wedding robe.
Yeah, but we have to cast
Wait,
it.
No, we
Yeah.
can't.
Oh wait, no,
wedding
oh wait,
robe?
that's right. That one's desiccated, isn't it?
That's gonna fall
I
apart if you
gotta
touch
fix
it.
it tomorrow.
Sagira takes it from you. You're not allowed to hold this.
I'm gonna wrap this decapitated head in this wedding gown.
That we're not allowed to touch because it might literally disintegrate.
Anywho,
It's true.
And it's a
Stop trying to ruin
collectible
the
piece
treasure.
that we want to sell.
we make our way downstairs.
We do. We do. Now we should try to be stealthy as possible when we are going to this mausoleum because our friend, the centipede of death, is still in the swimming pool.
Who is very good at being quiet?
I am stealthy-ish.
Me.
No.
You're gonna try real hard.
Because if we want to try to sneak past this, we're going to have to make as little noise as possible.
We're not that close to
Yes,
the pool.
we're-
We got up to the edge of it before and it ignored us. I'm sure we'll be fine.
We have been making a lot of noise, but
It
there's
is
a
better
very
safe
good
than
chance
sorry.
that it just doesn't care.
It's better safe than sorry.
I agree with this. So, stealthy as possible, but we'll also kind of skirt the
Yeah.
right edge instead of trying to go toward the pool.
Well, especially because we don't know how much noise we're going to make opening the mausoleum. If it's locked or anything like that, we may end up making a lot of noise.
We may.
Was it actually a pool,
We
like
have
something
the
you would go
key.
swimming in?
Yeah.
So,
did
when
we
you
pick up
grew
the
up
key?
in your
Oh.
big house, did you have a pool too?
Yes.
Did you use the big pool?
Sometimes.
Did you shine way more than normal?
No.
Did you take a bath in the pool?
We
It's
had
a
a
pool.
bathhouse for that. Inside the house, much like this one does.
Yeah, I was rich enough to have a
Wow.
bathhouse, but not rich enough to have a pool.
You people are all very wealthy.
Not
my-
I never had any
not
of this.
Wealthy. My
I had to bathe in the
family was
river
wealthy. There's
with no
a
soap.
difference.
I thought you just licked yourself.
Question for the game master.
I'm sure Cat.
I mean,
do
you
that.
have a cat head, and therefore you have a cat tongue.
Yeah.
Ergo, you could clean yourself by licking.
I don't.
I don't
think
know if
the
catfolk
catfolk
do that, though.
That's
I
strange.
that seems a little too.
Now I just have this image of you like sticking your leg way up in the air and licking the
That's why I'm so.
company comes.
That's why I'm so flexible. It's from years and years of basically being
Cleaning
boneless.
Oh God.
I imagine that you probably bathe normally, although I bet you probably like spit shine your hairdo just to keep it like nice and slick.
Oh, it does the, does
Do
the
the
thing
lick
where
the
like
back
he's
of your hand.
got a big date and he like licks his paw and then like puts it back. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Your
your
mane.
partner's
like some sort of 1980s love interest or something.
Oh my.
He's got a swoop.
Anyway,
All right, so we're gonna try to be stealthy.
this is gonna go real bad.
Just try.
I have a -5.
It doesn't hurt you to try.
Do we want to go all at once or do we want
Also,
to
you
go
go last.
individually? We'll make less noise if we go one by one.
Well, we always go to Sagira points at Sitra. We always go first because traps and also like I kill stuff real good.
Okay, I'll stay with Onuris.
So mechanically, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to need a stealth check from the entire party. I'm just going to go ahead and give you all a +6 bonus on this because you're at least 60 feet away from the
Yeah,
creature.
we're far away from it.
Man, I am stealthy.
So I will roll for the creature.
perfectly averagely stealthy.
Sagira limbers up.
So you would all make your way downstairs, navigate back through the lower landing, and head over towards the set of double doors on the western wall of the compound. Pushing these open, before you would be the western side of the estate, the large yard that you'd seen before, which had been given over to sand and sun-dried earth at this point, although at one point you think maybe this was some sort of garden, judging by the number of pots that you can see lining the outside of the walls. There are numerous stone benches here that line the walls of the yards and a large tiled pool, which is off towards your side, that you know has an unwelcome occupant. You would descend down the short flight of steps, which would lead up towards the pair of pillars that flank either side of the double doors that you're exiting from as you make your way out into the courtyard, and your feet would crunch onto the sand. The sun has come up in full by this point and paints the yard in brilliant shades of orange and golden yellow as it blasts across both the sand as well as the matching sand-colored walls. If at one point, and more likely than not, there probably were decorations set up on these walls or paintings, they have faded away with the passage of centuries. Off towards your right-hand side as you exit, you can see the squat stone building with the columns at every corner that marks the family mausoleum. So what do we get for stealth checks? Sagira?
Sorry, does my favorite terrain apply? I can't seem to find there it is. It does!
Urban?
Urban.
Yes.
I figure she probably hasn't been in the desert that much. 25.
Sudi?
Sudi will be slinking with a 27.
Citra?
Sitra is going to be all sneaky-like with a 26.
26.
Onuris gets an 8.
Well, that's why you're last.
Is that with the +6?
Yeah.
Very well.
Oh, that wasn't with the +6. 31.
Okay.
I was going to say, I was like, man, I got
Sorry, I forgot.
Sadly, much like the chain, you're only as stealthy as your least stealthy party member.
Well, we had him hang back.
I'm in that split mail. I have no ranks in stealth. I have a 1 dexterity modifier. With that +6 he gave us, that means I got a +1 to what I rolled.
You know that we all did this just to see what would happen to Onuris.
Additionally, I 100% out of character built a ranger to be stealthy, wear light armor, and totally slink through things. I forgot that Onuris was going to wear all the loud stuff.
So suppose Sagira makes her way out, followed shortly behind by Sitra as the two of them kind of slink along, following around the outside wall before making their way, darting the short distance, no more than about 7 feet between the main building and this mausoleum, and reaching the set of doors there. Sudi would follow you with all the cat-like grace and expertise that you'd come to expect from someone who has, actually think you just wear linen wraps around your
I
feet.
don't even wear armor.
And that's mostly just
so
to
the padded
protect his
cat
toe
paws.
beans.
Yeah.
It's hot AF on the ground.
It is really starting to heat up out here.
I wear soft-soled boots.
A tiny scorpion would watch you from the nearby bench, raising up his tail before skittering away, doing a little, crab walk thing.
I like to think that Sagira does, the chest, out, come at me, bro, pose. I don't know.
Following along would be the crunch, crunch, crunch of Onuris. How much does Onuris weigh? I think he is the heaviest member. He's
Onuris
definitely
weighs
the
175 pounds before any of his gear. He's
Yeah.
a big guy.
You're a big ol' slassa dude.
The light blazing off of his golden skin as he strides out into the open court.
He's very epic.
Sagira's we will need to cover you.
Are
in
you
blood.
also doing the dramatic slow walk?
He's
In
probably
slow
trying to be
motion?
quiet, so he's like, I'll just walk slow. That's how that works, right?
Sagira, makes a mental note. I've got to teach him how to walk with his toes first. Not heel to toe. The other direction. You're much softer and quieter that way.
So I was okay, I'll walk slower. That's quiet, right? That's probably exactly what Onuris does.
You already walk so much.
We're all just
As
standing
Onuris-
by the door, just watching him going, what the crap?
I have no ranks in stealth. Leave me alone.
I imagine the other 3 members of the party are kind of watching Onuris, watching towards the pool, watching Onuris, watching towards the pool. You'd reach the mausoleum door without interruption.
Onuris hands Sitra the key.
She takes it with a grin.
Make sure it's not trapped.
And then
Now that you're looking at the mausoleum, at each corner stands a column carved to resemble men and women with their arms crossed over their chests, much like you'd usually kind of expect of Egyptian-style statues, although these are not holding the Ankh and the, I think it's a whip usually. That they have in their hand.
I was going to say it's either a whip or some kind of a decorative rod looking
Or
thing.
sometimes it's a little.
It's the
curved
the
staff.
Scepter.
and then usually the rod with, like you said, it looks almost like a whip. I don't know what that is.
There's the thing you can cut wheat with. I can't think what it's called.
Scythe?
Sickle.
a sickle.
Sickle.
Yeah, sickle.
Sometimes they have a sickle.
These people just have their arms crossed. They are not carrying anything.
That's because they're relaxing.
A set of stone doors would stand on the face of the building that you're approaching now, carved with reliefs and the faces of 2 men.
The same ones that were on the gate outside.
The same ones that are on the gate outside.
Somebody the younger.
There are
said even-
hieroglyphs.
Pentheru.
There are hieroglyphs carved into the door just beneath the faces.
What do the hieroglyphs say?
Approaching towards them.
Yes, like I said, Onuris would hand Sitra the key to the door.
she grins while she takes it.
Check it for traps.
And then she checks the door for traps.
Well, so you may make a perception roll to check the door for traps. I don't know if you want to hold on Eurus off from reading anything until you've actually checked it for traps in case there's any runes or something.
No reading.
That's gonna get you in trouble.
Wait.
Onuris would
finish.
have to resist the urge to roll his eyes and just kind of hold his hands up fine.
What did you make on your perception roll?
I don't know. I dropped my dice.
It was a 20.
Dice
Oh, dice.
down.
It was a 20.
No, it's a 9.
There's
We're
no
gonna
traps.
trigger all the traps.
It's perfectly 100% safe.
We have
to
a
open
key.
this door.
It's fine.
I don't know where my other dice went.
Oh, I found it. Yeah.
Checking over the door, you don't see any traps. There's also no lock. You can just push this open.
Oh, then what does key go to?
Maybe somewhere further inside.
All right, read the door.
I will let the party make a wisdom check if they so wish.
Seems like a bad plan. Oh, dang it. Gosh darn, I got a 5.
I got a 10 for Sudi.
I got a 19, even
there you
with
go.
my
23.
penalty.
Cool. With the 19 and 23 for Sitra and Onuris, the only thing that you've run into in this place that has been locked was that chest that you found in the master bedroom.
Oh, that makes sense.
We unlocked that, right?
But yeah,
we
you picked it.
Okay. You had the key.
And this key has the crest on it, so I just kind of assumed it would be for the mausoleum, but...
You mean I picked that lock for nothing?
Reading the hieroglyphs on the door.
Hey, the enjoyment of your personal, life goals. The pride of doing something well.
Onuris would look over the hieroglyphs. May defilers be cursed by the gods until the day of their judgment.
You should stop reading.
I mean, that seems pretty standard, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Warnings about going into their tombs.
We're not defiling anyone. She pushes open the door. Sagira pushes open the door.
Pushing open the door, there would be a rush of cool air, which would come up from the depths, accompanied by this stale smell of age. That scent that you just kind of associate with old linen.
All right. That's pretty normal.
Did we have a light spell cast, or was it
I have a
light
torch.
enough?
It was pretty bright inside, so you guys weren't really worried. Though I believe Sudi did keep his torch
I've
the whole
kept my
time
torch
since
on
he...
because I
Because it's
lit it in some of the darker
Do we
areas.
want a light spell, too? Or
I have a lamp.
I have low light vision, so I can probably see okay with your 2 light
I
sources.
have dark vision.
Usually I have the light spell on me.
Yeah, because you're near the front. That's why I was asking if you wanted one.
Sure.
Onuris will cast the light spell.
So Onuris prays out to Horus, reaches a hand towards the sun.
Squints. I'm going to look around on the ground to see if there are any scorpions or horrible things that could poison me.
You can make a survival check if you so wish.
Well, venomate me, poison me. Nope, I roll real bad. And I get a 9.
Yeah. As a rule, you just assume that there are always scorpions somewhere. That being said, you don't see any immediately around you, or any tracks or anything leading in or out of this.
Okay, I think there are no scorpions here to bite us. Well, stinger us.
Despite how heavy these doors are, they open shockingly easily. With the slightest touch, almost as if something is pulling it open.
Are these doors stone?
Yes.
Physics?
Citra.
Is that you?
Citra kind of gives it a look because this is reminiscent of other places she has explored before. And so she goes around the back side of the door just to make sure there's nothing amiss.
Do you want me to stand in the doorway so it can't slam close on us?
You both could step forward if you so wish. It's a set of double doors.
I don't want you to get squished in the doors.
She's very considerate.
How big is the
probably-
mausoleum? Like, from outside?
You put Onuris in there. He's thick.
He's big. You stand right here. And Sagira points, in the doorway. So that they can't slam close and lock us in here
No,
forever.
they can just slam closed on me.
No,
It's
you're
perfectly
big and you're
fine.
wearing armor. You'll be good.
Sure.
She pats you on the shoulder and walks off. It's kind of a reach. You're really tall, right?
He's 6'3", yeah.
Yeah, I'm 5'2". You're like a whole foot and an inch higher than me. I reach up, tap you.
Onuris rolls his eyes after her, but we'll step forward.
Do you step where I pointed?
It's not exactly, just because he's going to be a little defiant. In the vague area of where she pointed.
Yes.
In answer to your question, the front face of the structure is about 20 feet across.
Okay, and how
Most of
deep
that
does
is
it go?
taken up by the 10-foot wide doorway. There are 2 side alleys that run on either side of the structure, going back 25 feet, which seems to be the outside edge. And then the back 20 feet of this, the mausoleum is actually built into the outside wall.
Okay.
That being said, the moment that you step forward and actually glance inside, there's just a set of stairs descending down.
Okay.
So you have no idea how
Alrighty.
big this mausoleum is.
Did you look at the, whatever it was?
Yeah, I'm going to go check the door.
Checking behind the doors, you don't immediately see anything. You may make a perception roll if you so wish, though.
Much better. Would this count as trap finding or no?
No.
Okay, then I got a 23.
You would check behind the doors. You don't see any runes. You don't see any markings. The walls in here are adorned with hieroglyphs. Although on yours, just giving him a glance over, most of them are just standard prayers for the sanctity and safety of the dead. The light from outside would stream through this open doorway, only a short distance, although the diffuse dim light would make its way further down, and of course your lantern casts its white beam. You do hear a distant scrape. Almost the sound of And maybe it's your mind playing tricks on you. Almost the sound of a sheet or some sort of cloth or linen moving across stone. This whisper for a moment. And then nothing.
So can I move, or am I still the door brace?
I don't think it's going to slam shut at the moment, but I did hear something.
Are there handles on it? Could we pull it open if it does shut on us?
I have a crowbar.
This mausoleum was not made to be opened from the inside.
I mean, you don't want your undead crawling out.
Don't think the purpose of this was to make undead.
Did any of you pick up any pittance? I know it was a question from before when you're...
I just have some.
If
Okay.
if it's in my
I was
kit,
going to say
yes.
rogues
If not,
start
no.
with pittance.
Yeah, you could feasibly hammer in a pitten to hold the store
Because
open.
we used pittance to make handholds on the big wheel at Akatepi's tomb.
That's
Yeah,
true.
just keep in mind it's going to make a lot of noise. So
Well, we don't
Mr.
need to right
Centipede
now.
make- say
We're just
hello.
gonna leave. We're just gonna leave this open.
Well, I am going to hammer one pit in just in case.
Well, we can hammer it in if it closes on us.
Yeah. And as far as
If it
hammer...
closes, we can't hammer it.
As far as hammering it in, you don't really need... You can actually just wedge it in where the door opens up.
It's like I'm putting it in the way so the door can't shut.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sagira is gonna assume that everything's okay, and you heard a weird sound, but she didn't see anything. So, I think that your weird sound is from downstairs, and maybe we should go kill it.
Well, ladies first.
Great. Sagira is gonna walk around to the stairs and go down them.
Even from here, you can see that the stairs descend down some 15 feet or so, making their way ahead, and seem to empty out into a larger room. There's no door. It just empties out immediately through an archway into a larger room. The passage is about 9 feet wide, so you can stand two abreast, so feasibly if Sudi wanted to stand alongside you, Sitra could still stand behind you. Although actually Sitra doesn't have
Usually
trap spotting,
yeah,
so...
it's the two girls in the front,
Yep.
and we send the ladies first.
Yep.
Sitra hangs out with me in the front. But I have the light on me. It's very bright here.
Well, then I'll probably douse my lamp for the moment if she's got the bright light.
And Sudi
Cool.
also has a torch, so we've got two light sources right now. Mm-hmm. So I guess Sitra and Sagira will go first with Onuris and Sudi right behind them.
Check for pressure plates and stuff, just in case.
Yes, I will be very thorough with the checking.
So you're just checking the archway down at the bottom, or are you checking every step down?
How paranoid are we? Do you guys want me to check every single step or just...
If you check every step, it's going to take you an average of about a minute to descend down this 15-foot set of stairs.
just a minute?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather be safe than
I can
sorry.
take a minute. We've seen some pressure plates before, so not
Okay.
in this place, but in other
It's not
places.
like we have any spells that are going to run out.
I'm not going to make you roll 6 times, just roll once for... or you can feasibly take 10.
No, I rolled better than 10 on that one. So this is for trap finding, so... 20.
You would crouch, checking every stone step as you begin to descend your way down, paranoid over God knows what they may have put in to actually keep their dead safe, or keep their undead contained. You would reach the bottom of the steps without incident. From here you can see into the next chamber, as can Sagira, who's walking alongside of you, and Sudi and Onuris following up behind can see most of the chamber, especially if you kind of tilt your head down and glance past them. The hall opens up into a large room. No, a room. A stone altar sits upon a raised stone platform in the center of the square chamber. Keratig columns carved in the likeness of male and female figures with their arms crossed over their chest and kopeshes or ankhs in their hands would stare at each corner of the platform. Empty torch holders are built into all 4 corners of the room, and 2 stairways exit from the room. The one that you came in, and then one on the opposite side of this chamber past the platform.
What was on the altar?
Looking at the altar, you can see your light glints off of something, almost as if there's some sort of fluid or residue,
What does
and a few scraps of cloth.
What does Onuris see with his dark vision?
The same.
I have 60-foot dark vision. I should
Yeah, well,
see it more
this
clearly than
this
her.
chamber is the exact same size. This chamber is 20 feet across from one side to the other,
yeah.
so there's more than enough for bright illumination
It's
for
not
everyone
because of the light.
But there are scraps of some sort of cloth as if something once lay on top of this altar.
Sitra heard the clothy things.
Although you don't see anything now. There looks to be a carving across the top of this, although from here you can't discern what the carving is of.
Sagira wants to check for tracks.
I'm going to go check out the carving then. Onuris will make his way forward.
You already
So you push past Sagira as she's checking for the tracks? I assume you're just checking for the tracks in the doorway here.
No, I need to go. Sagira's going to approach that altar and look for tracks leaving the altar because maybe it's a horrible...
So Sagira's going to go looking for tracks. Sudi is...
I'm going to actually examine these columns.
Okay. Sitra wants to
keep an eye out because if something crawled off of that altar, she wants to be ready.
So keeping a weather eye out.
And Onuris will make his way forward to inspect the altar.
Making your way into the chamber, though. I suppose spreading out as you begin to approach.
Onuris is going to go ahead and just draw his Kopesh as he starts to make his way forward.
I was just kind of assuming all of you had the
Oh, yeah,
weapons in hand,
I assumed
but
we had everything out.
I just want to state it so it's like out there in the universe when we
Onuris
inevitably get attacked.
Your shield is a light shield?
Light steel shield.
Okay. Yeah, so you didn't even have to put that away to improve your stealth bonus or anything while you're sneaking earlier?
You mean when he was walking quietly, trying to? Yeah, okay.
Air
I'm going to teach you how to do the stealth walk when we
Quotes
get out
around
here.
quietly.
You'll teach us Ancient Ossiriani, and I will teach you how to walk
On the balls
toe
of
to
your
heel.
balls of your feet.
The chamber, again, is not overly large, despite the fact that I initially said it was a large chamber. A majority of this chamber is taken up by this altar in the center, as well as the columns, to the point that there's really only a 5-foot wide walkway around the outside of this chamber. As you would make your way forward, I imagine you would split, basically heading left and right, Sagira beginning to look for any sort of tracks around the altar itself.
Sagira, whaps at people that are in her way. Get out of it. Do not mess up tracks.
Sudi. Actually, I'll go ahead and have Sagira, Sudi, and Onuris all make me a knowledge religion if you have it.
I do.
It's also a low enough DC that you can feasibly roll it even if you don't have it.
I get us 5.
Sudi gets a 14.
Onuris gets a 27.
That seems right.
Bro, with a 5,
I'm not really looking at that.
Both Sudi and Onuris, though, would recognize... Sudi, first off, glancing over the columns, you would recognize these columns as being pretty much just kind of depictions of guardians. The Kopeshes are here as effectively protecting this figure from anyone coming down the stairs into the crypt, or at the very least protecting this shrine. The two columns on the opposite sides holding the ox seem to be representative of maybe some sort of passage into the afterlife. This would concur with Onuris' thoughts also as he would glance over the shrine here and realize that this in fact is a shrine. Carved across the top of this is an antiquated version of the Spiral of Pharasma, done in a much more hieroglyphic-esque relief, although in this case it seems to almost be more of a serpent or serpentine in design, spiraling inwards. With your knowledge religion check, you would know that that was sometimes used by the ancient Osirians. If I can get a perception roll from the party, and I'll give Sitra a +2 since she's kind of perched looking around while the rest of the party is exploring.
What terrain is this?
Underground.
Okay. I got a 20. Sagira
20
gets
from Sagira.
Sudi gets a 9.
Citra gets a 22.
22.
Onuris gets a 23.
23. Onuris, you would kind of make your way up towards the platform. Look it over, just kind of nodding. I suppose informing the group that this is a shrine to Pharasma. You can see marked around the outside of the shrine are a number of names. It's a very small number, effectively of family names or cartouches carved into the outside of the shrine, with places for dozens of more.
Well, the Plague of Madness kind of ruined that whole thing.
You would see something shift at the edge of your vision. And Citra, perched where you are, you would hear a slight movement. You would have enough time to ready your weapons. Onuris would have enough time to dart his eyes up, staring across the top of this altar as a shambling form of an emaciated, wrapped figure would step out of the darkness, twitching as it turns its vacant gaze towards all of you, wrapped from head to toe in bandages and linens, and reeking of the incense of the dead. It would stiffly begin to shamble forward with shocking speed, as I will need initiative from the party.
That's the tracks I was looking for.
Boy.
I smell like incense too, you know.
Are you my mummy?
No.
I rolled poorly.
I rolled really well.
Oh, so I get to act in the surprise attack round? Is that a
Yes.
thing that's happening? Hey, I get a bonus.
Man, I got a 20 and I missed it.
Just barely. Shockingly, dead things, fairly stealthy.
He's wrapped in cloth.
Just because he's wrapped in cloth doesn't mean he's an actual mummy.
I really hope that that's the case, because otherwise we're in
He's
some
real
deep
fast.
trouble.
I don't know, guys. That looks like a mummy.
Looks like a mummy. The pawn looks like a mummy, so that's a clear giveaway.
I don't know. From my view, since it's so far away, it kind of looks like a guy with like branches coming off of it.
He is not a fun elemental bro.
It's linen wraps like flying around everything.
Oh, yeah, because they're kind of flapping in the wind. Well, the flapping in the non-existent wind.
Closer to
You guys
y'all.
are here for Mummy's Mask.
I guess we should have
Mummies.
expected mummies.
Unexpected. I was counting on it.
All right, so going around the table here, we've got Jessica,
Sagira gets a 20.
20. Jordan,
Sudi has a 5.
5 for Mr. Sudi Kontar. Rachel,
Sitra got a 6.
slightly better than Sudi.
Man, go team.
Heather,
Onuris gets a 16.
16. I'll roll from my guy here. Okay. Gotta put him up towards the top here.
Oh boy.
And actually, I will need Onuris to roll off.
13.
Okay. So combat breaks out for our heroes. Surprise attack round. Onuris.
I'm gonna make a knowledge religion.
Knowledge religion.
Onuris gets a number that is that. Onuris gets a 19. I can do math, I promise.
19. Actually, make me a perception roll as well.
14 on the perception roll.
There's too much substance to this thing. It looks a whole lot like a mummy. But you don't think it's dead.
What? How dare you be a not undead mummy?
Do I
There
have
goes that
any idea what
favorite
it
enemy
might
bonus.
be? Is there another roll?
Yes, if you have it, you may roll me. Knowledge nature.
I don't have that.
I have that. I can do that next time.
Onuris would furrow his brow. I don't think that's dead.
Are you kidding me?
And then I guess Onuris will move up next to that altar. So, yeah. There you go.
Okay. If you're moving between the altar and the column, you're going to need to make an escape artist.
Okay, sure, why not? Okay, actually, I rolled a perfect 20 on that. So
Oh,
21.
I thought you were going to get stuck and it was going to be hilarious.
Onuris somehow manages to gracefully glide through that space.
Where was that when we were trying to stealth?
Cool. You can continue your movement if you so wish,
And
but
yeah, I'm gonna move.
Are you going to get directly in my way? Is that what you're doing right now?
I'll go around the other way.
Squeeze
I
again.
will need a second escape artist check as you just go squeezing once again.
19.
19. Very well.
Wow. Well done.
He was not trying to stealth earlier.
Kira's like,
Sagira makes another mental
Somebody's
note.
been sandbagging here.
Gracefully.
Glaze.
Gracefully.
Onuris gracefully maneuvers around all of this.
That's what grace is when you're also gold. Glaze.
Glazed.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to
Wow.
there. So yes, I gracefully move through those pillars in the shrine and come to face this not undead weird thing, whatever it is.
I can't believe it's not undead.
Somebody tell me what this is.
Sagira pouts.
That will bring us to the creature in question.
Oh, we're going to find out maybe.
Yours has his shield ready.
Yeah, it's going to slam you with its arm. No, probably not. It's only a 14.
No.
Through? You would duck under its stiff swing. It doesn't seem to be... Obviously, it's not any sort of undead, as you can quickly realize. Whatever it is, it seems to be kind of shaking off this almost torpid state, as if it's steadily waking itself back up.
It's waking up, whatever it is.
Wake me up and...
Citra, if you have knowledge nature, you may roll it.
Are you sure it's my turn?
Surprise attack.
Surprise attack round.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I rolled really low.
Yeah, it's surprise attack round. You get a single...
I do not have knowledge nature, so...
Very well. What would you like to do?
Pull out a bow. Ding ding.
I could, actually. I do have my light crossbow.
Get prepared for the flame.
Because if y'all are both going to be in the front line, but...
Although if you... Firing from there, it has a ton of cover,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a melee combat. It's going to be a rough shot.
But you're about to hop in there, aren't you, Sagira?
Yeah, I mean, you can almost get to him.
You could flank left. If you ran around the outside, you could actually get to the far corner of the room, closest to Jessica.
Would I be in your way?
No, he means
You
he
can
means
get
closest to like act just the person, not
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You could squeeze, you might be
Jessica
able to
the
get there. but I'm
Okay,
not sure.
yeah, I'll get over there. Citra sees this thing and is like, ugh, and kind of deftly moves in between, much more gracefully than her counterpart Onuris, despite how well he did.
Hey, he was graceful right there. It's never gonna happen again, but it worked this time.
Yeah, we're like giving you the look, like, that never happens. What the crap?
Nope, it was the oil. He oiled himself to be extra shiny.
No, he did not do that.
Sagira thinks he does that on the way. He's also covered in glitter, in her estimation.
So that brings us to round 1 of combat. Onuris is closed into melee range with the creature. Sitra is circling around the outside of the room, and Sudi and Sagira have now become aware of this beast.
Oh.
Bringing us to Sagira.
I'm gonna know something about its nature, possibly.
Knowledge nature.
Oh, wow.
Know a thing.
26.
With a 26, you know a lot of things about this. This is a creature called an adherer. Adherers look vaguely like embalmed and mummified corpses wrapped in dirty linens, but they are in fact otherworldly beings from an entirely different nature. Transformed by hideous process on the ethereal plane, their bodies are riddled with tiny adhesive strands that can stick to anything, effectively oftentimes causing them to be covered in basically everything around them. Although they were actually once human, adherers have forgotten all traces of humanity and now hunt their former kindred with gleeful abandon. You may ask 3 questions pertaining towards the adherer.
Defenses.
Defenses. Adherers possess damage reduction, although knowing what overcomes their damage reduction is a separate question, and also possess spell resistance. In addition to that, they are coated with a sticky adhesive. This adhesive means that any weapon that strikes it has a chance of effectively just sticking to the creature. Any being that strikes it with a natural weapon has a chance of being grappled by the creature, although the creature does not gain the grappled condition.
Rick says as he looks directly at Sudi / Jordan, who's like, uh-oh.
It's gonna rip your hair right off your little paws. Free waxing for everyone.
No.
Hit it with your face.
There is a means by which to bypass this adhesive, although that is a separate question pertaining
I feel
towards
like
a
those
special
are the
quality.
2 questions.
Yeah, there's our 2 questions.
I need to know damage reduction. I need to know how to not be stuck to this creature.
Very well. Damage reduction. There is nothing that bypasses its damage reduction. That is a damage reduction of 5 everything.
How dare you, damage reduction, non-mummy.
Uh-oh, that's going to be a problem for me.
As far as its adhesive is concerned, fire can temporarily burn away an adherer's adhesive coating. It has to take a fair amount of fire damage before that happens.
So I can't just whack it with my torch.
Yes. At which point it will burn away its adhesive, but only for a matter of seconds. Universal solvent, alchemical solvent, or similar fluid removes an adherent release. Yes, your Gugon. If you have any Gubagon, it will work very well for the adhesive.
I feel
on
like
this
that
thing.
should just be in adventures like kits. It's just, and here's your bottle of Gugon.
Also, if you're sitting there going, what the heck is Gugon? Gugon is a solvent that actually dissolves every type of adhesive, including glues.
Who doesn't know what
and all this
Gugon
stuff.
is?
No,
know?
literally, I didn't find out about this until I was 18 years old, and I was like, this is the most magical
We
stuff.
are
Sheltered person.
sponsored by Gugon. We're not sponsored
Go
by
get
them.
Gugon. No.
We would be okay with that, though.
Gugon for all your adherer battles.
Adherer.
Well,
that
and
makes sense, yeah.
other sticky things like, I guess, mimics. and stuff.
You would also know 2 further things. Technically, the adhesive that coats it is actually because of tiny filaments that protrude from the body of this thing.
Oh.
It can actually retract those at will, allowing it to drop any object that is stuck to it as a free action, or disengage from a grapple as a free action.
Or to then do a strike and not stick somebody if it wants
Yes.
to, yeah.
In addition to that, you would note that you can actually scrape adhesive off of it. It is very potent adhesive. It does not last for more than an hour, though.
Yeah.
Sagira would say, this is not a mummy, this is an adherer, it sticks to you. Be careful. And then she's going to rush forward.
I like to think that maybe Sagira studied some of the other planes and everything, interested in her own heritage, and that's
have
why she
knowledge.
knows about, like... I know about adherers. They come from the ethereal plane.
I also like to think that she was like seen one before and be like, "Mommy," and somebody was like, "No, let me tell you about this thing."
Don't touch it.
And then you ran for your life because they're pretty high challenge rating.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then she's
Gonna whap it.
gonna whap it. She's gonna slash with her Kopesh.
Do you have any
Cool.
more of your elemental stuff left?
I only get that once a day.
Burn through it all in that swarm.
Yep. I rolled real good though. I get a 28 to hit this thing.
A 28 will strike your target.
Oh, I'm gonna stick my weapon into it. And that is gonna be 11 damage. So 6.
Your blade viciously cuts into the side of this thing. A yellowish pus-like fluid would spray forth from it.
Gross.
You will need to make me a reflex save.
And then trying to yank my weapon back before it gets stuck. Oh, that was not the best reflex save I've ever made. Is it fear?
You will be. No, it is not.
13.
Your blade is jammed, stuck to the side of this thing as you begin to kind of wrench it.
Mother. It does that. It's 6 things.
Let me demonstrate.
So your weapon is currently stuck to it. You can keep a hold of your weapon. You don't actually take any penalties right now. You just can't use that weapon. You're just grabbing onto the ends of it.
Okay, I'll
On your
just-
next turn, you can use a move action to try to dislodge the weapon.
Okay.
That action does provoke an attack of opportunity.
This. Okay.
On yours.
Think about my life.
Onuris would click over at Sagira
It'll
and
stick.
her weapon situation,
Oh, if only Sagira moved a little further.
and then
Oh. Well, I was scared it was gonna whap me.
just sigh.
It's a viable fear.
And Onuris will swing
Very well.
with a 15.
Be fast.
A 15 will not strike the target.
Or just don't hit it.
I just feel like he's kind of like,
Yeah.
man.
You're gonna stop sandbagging. I know you're better than you are.
Your blade would chip off the column next to you before you'd spin back around to face it.
Sagira like leans over, like around the column to look at you and give you a what? What are you doing?
These are very tight. Keep in mind that Onuris is currently wedged with this monster on one side of him, two columns pressing
on the other,
either
and
side.
the shrine behind me. Onuris is like not going anywhere.
You just
guys.
slippy slid through there. We know you're holding out on us.
Is this a swarm I could maybe use my shield on? No?
Activate my shield. That's not that help.
That will bring us to the adherer.
It's gonna do
Yeah,
stuff.
it lashes out with its fists.
How dare
F
you?
Sagira's actually hit it,
I'm very
and her
beautiful,
weapon's
don't
stuck
hit
to
me.
it.
He's gonna whap me.
18.
Yeah, that whaps me. He wraps me with his whapping.
Oh my gosh.
Slams you for 4 points of damage.
Ow.
And nothing else. The end.
I'm nearly positive the answer to this will be yes. 33 to beat your combat meter defense.
Yeah.
Wow.
You are grappled.
Wow.
As it slams a fist onto you, it then lashes out with its other fist at Onuris.
Ah.
This thing likes to cuddle.
Only a 15, though.
Nope.
Very well. I imagine you would slam yourself back against the altar since you don't want to bring up your shield and get it stuck to this
Rasmus,
thing.
save me!
Although, actually, as your elbow would kind of hit back onto the altar, it'd take you a little bit of force to wrench it back away.
Oh.
As this thing seems to have possibly just been sleeping on top of this altar, hence this
That's the goo!
goo that you saw atop it.
Goo.
The altar is sticky. Don't jump on it.
Kind of leave like a layer of flesh behind. Like
Wasn't planning on it, but good to know.
Miss Sitra Nahamra.
I'm gonna flank
Ooh,
with you
we got-
maybe, but I'm currently cuddled.
We got fancy with my name there.
Oh, sorry. I last named you.
You last named me, yeah.
Onuris does not have the last name.
Onuris is like Madonna.
Well, I'm gonna move.
Onuris has last name, just doesn't want to use it.
I'm gonna move in and just try to attack it and hope I don't get stuck.
You're probably gonna get stuck.
Onuris kind of looks at you like, good luck.
You may not! You're roguey and flippity floppity.
So you close on the thing.
Citra uses her kukris where they kind of do it with the blade is flat against her forearm,
does
so
it,
she kind of brings them up and she kind of wrenches her arm across and tries to slice it without getting anything more than like a tiny bit.
She's gonna paper.
I'm gonna paper cut this thing to death.
She wants to hit it, but she doesn't want
Like
to
I don't
hit
want to lose my kukri. I like my kukri.
I figured that's why Onuris missed because he was kind of like,
it. Sagira gave you a dirty look.
Oh, I was one away from a crit.
I don't know if
Sounds like a good roll, though.
Yes, it was a 23.
A 23 will strike your target.
Oh, but I'm not sneak attacking him.
I can't. Well, because
No,
I'm stuck
you're
here.
not flanking it.
Okay.
I'm grabbed.
All right. I get it for 6 points of damage.
on him.
Very well. You would slice it, nicking across the thing. I will need you to make a reflex save.
13.
13, your kukri sticks solidly to its shoulder as you slice your blade in. Only the tip of it, but you can't wrench that back free now.
Eurus looks back over his shoulder at Sudi and just shakes his head.
Speaking of the cat named Sudi,
He's like,
Ooh.
You are going to lose all of your fur if you try anything on this.
Wasn't planning on it. Sudi puts his hand on the column next to him and pushes off of it as he begins streaming around the corner using his monk speed to get all the way behind Sitra.
Oh, I was going to say, it's 30 feet of movement to get in front of Sagira. It will provoke, but it puts you in melee range.
I don't want to put myself in melee range. So he will draw a dagger and then throw it over Citra's shoulder, trying to impale it in this thing.
Very well. It's going to get an AC bonus for the cover, and you're going to take a -4 for throwing into melee.
Yeah, I know. So we'll see how this goes. Fairly well, actually. So that is going to be a 16.
A 16 will not hit it with its cover.
Sad.
As your blade goes whistling past, it's starting to move faster, as if it's shaking off its torpid state and moving with much greater celerity.
I have a dumb plan.
Oh, goody.
I have a dumb plan. I'm going to grapple it. That will bring us to Sagira. Sagira, you are grappled.
That's the dumb plan. I'm going to grapple it back.
You're going to attempt to reverse the grapple.
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I don't know. It's grappling me.
I'm
I don't
not
take a
stuck to
penalty
you.
on grapples.
I'm not stuck to you. You're stuck to me.
You need to make a combat maneuver check.
Oh my god. Okay.
I suppose you would release your
What are you
Kopesh because you
doing
need a
with
free
your
hand to
life
grapple
right
with.
now?
I was like, if you're going to be stuck to me, I'm going to be stuck to you, and maybe I can make it worse at things. It worked with that hand.
It's kind of like when you're gluing a miniature and you get your fingers glued together, and then you use your other hand to try to dislodge it and also just glue
It's
those
stuck here.
fingers.
Stick a finger, yeah. Well, that's what I was afraid of what's going to happen to Sudi is he's literally going to stick all 4 of his limbs and just be like being carried by this thing.
Okay. My combat maneuver bonus is a 22.
22. You have successfully grappled it. As you
Wow.
grab onto it as well.
Can I do anything else?
You have given it the grappled condition. That was your standard action, so no.
You
Why
take a
do I
5 foot step into
imagine-
the flank.
I imagine you're kind of like Black Widow right
Yeah.
now, where you like wrapped your thigh around its neck and like are pulling it down
That's
to the
what
ground.
I'm very small, so yes. I move
Although in
over
this
a
case
little
it'd be Black Widow if she was then immediately glued to the guy.
bit. Yeah.
It'd
So
be
I'm-
like Black
yeah.
Widow fighting Clayface or something.
I then
we're
like
crossing
wiggle
universes.
myself over.
Now you're both grappled?
Yes.
Now they're both grappled,
Okay.
but she was already grappled to begin with. But now he also has the
Hey,
grapple
but you could get in
condition.
these stairs and have a...
It's like those UFC fights where they're both just kind of holding each other,
Yes,
and you can't
yes.
really tell if
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah,
We're the
but
UFC
Are they
fighters.
something's
hugging it out?
happening.
What's going on? That grapple did provoke an attack of opportunity, though.
Okay.
18.
That always hits me.
All right.
You know what? Fine. You get grappled anyway. F you, Mr. Guy.
So he slams you for 4 points of damage.
Okay.
So now on yours.
19 to hit this thing.
A 19 will strike your target.
For 10 points of damage.
Your blade slicing into the back of this thing, seemingly doing something. I will need you to make a reflex save.
18?
18, you would manage to wrench your blade back free, although a sticky goo still covers and coats the front of your Kopesh.
Onuris looks really disgusted right now.
Don't even talk about it on Eurus.
I didn't say anything.
I see your face.
It's in your eyes.
I can see your face.
That will bring us to
Oh, you have a
the
column in between
Adhir.
you,
I'm attached to this guy.
I guess.
Technically, we're in both people's squares. That's what I said.
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure a 39 will beat your combat maneuver defense.
It does.
All right, it establishes itself as the dominant grappler. It's
Grappler.
beginning to start to pin you. It also does its slam.
so many
Damage.
inappropriate jokes right now that I'm not going to make because we're a family-friendly channel.
That's right.
Only 3 points of damage, though, from as he basically began crushing you.
How
One of his
bad
sticky
shape do you
hands
think?
would grab onto your throat and begin to hold.
I look about halfway to dead.
I think about half dead. Sitra.
Well, if you want to flip over, I can move in and
I'm cuddling him.
give you the flank because we need something that punches to his damage
Stairs.
reduction.
He is flanked. I mean, he is grappled. So he's worse at things.
Okay, I'll flip over and then ready to attack him whenever Sudi moves into position.
Cool.
Oh, Sudi. Your hand wraps are going to be gone, buddy.
Oh, no, I have 4 more daggers.
Oh, okay. That's good.
But you're
So
gonna need
you
to
go
step
darting
up.
around.
Well, he's
Yeah.
gonna.
I'm going to ready. All right, Sudi, let's do this.
Please
Sitra
do
readies. Sudi Kontar.
Pharasma helps. I pull another dagger, take a 5-foot step forward, triggering your ready action.
Okay.
Get him!
Gosh, always
You do feel
one
a cool
lower
breeze,
than
which
what
may
I
be
need.
Pharasma acknowledging you.
Hey!
Good kitty.
I'm getting ghost scritches from like Pharasma.
As Constantine says, cats are half in, half out anyway.
That's right. Get another 23.
A 23 will strike your flanked target.
Excuse me, 25.
25
Hey.
will definitely strike your flanked target.
So this time I get my
Sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Do it.
snake. 14.
14.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a vicious
Your
hit.
blade viciously slices across this thing as you trail it along the edge of your arm. I will need you to make a reflex
I
save.
know. 15?
You had managed to keep this blade. I think you left your other kukri sitting on
Yeah.
the other side of
So
it.
Citra goes for a faster slice across of him
Google.
this time and manages not to lose her kukri and its sticky mass of nastiness.
It's true. Well, we still have Sudi's turn.
Okay, so then I will
Stab it.
attempt to slice it with my dagger. See if I end up slicing it or piercing it.
So you step forward, move action to pull another dagger, standard
That'll
action to stab.
that'll play. So that's a 25.
25 will hit your flank target.
That's a threat.
That is a hit threat roll to confirm.
A 22 to confirm.
22 will confirm your critical hit.
Yes. All right.
So
So
he buries his blade viciously.
really, D4. Why you do this to me? 8 points of damage. So I do 3, criticaling it. Yay!
Bury your blade into its shoulder. It spasms but continues to try to crush Sagira's windpipe.
Okay, so then
save.
reflex. So I get a 21.
A 21. You keep your dagger as you
Hey.
wrench it back free of its shoulder.
You just have to move really fast.
A long, viscous yellow strand would stretch between your blade and its gaping wound as you try to shake that off.
Oh, this is so gross.
Like when you're using crazy glue and it just kind of...
yeah, they just kind of like saying it's going off. Ew.
I think this is what's defiling the place.
From Sudi, we go to top of the initiative, Sagira Maibe.
What is the best plan at this current juncture of my life?
Reverse the grapple.
You can try to reverse the grapple.
I'm gonna reverse the grapple, I guess. I could hit it, but my kukris doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so... And my
Well,
Kopesh
isn't it
is
also?
stuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Or
My Kopesh is stuck.
Yeah, she just let go of her Kopesh so that she could grab onto it.
Alright, let's do this. Let's see if I can... grab
Everybody's just stuck in this like ball of goo in the center of the, or in the side of the room.
I'm always grappling things.
Just
I don't
pretty
know.
much every time I fight a gelatinous cube, it's pretty much like this.
19?
19 will not reverse the grapple. As you would struggle with it. It's kind of difficult considering that the hand you initially grabbed it with is still just stuck to it.
I'm
gonna move action, pull my kukri, I guess.
Very well. So you would heft your kukri, try to bring it to bear as we cut over to Onuris.
Kill it. Kill it before he squishes me.
We're running out of time, Onuris.
17.
A 17 will strike your
Don't make
grapple
me feel
target.
bad.
You will feel bad if I'm dead.
I only do 6 points of damage when I nick it.
You would nick it, making a reflex save.
20. No, sorry, 19.
19. Very well. You manage to keep your blade in hand as you wrench it back free, bringing us to the adherer. Jessica?
Yeah.
Jessica. Well, a 36 beats Sagira's combat maneuver defense.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry. 41, it's maintaining.
Oh,
That would
goodness.
beat some dragons combat.
Yeah, he
maneuver.
could
Goodness.
pummel a
We're just
dragon
gonna
real
keep one
hard.
of these things in like a bag of holding and throw it at a
Attack.
dragon later. That's what we'll do.
As an interesting side note, it actually can grapple things larger than one size
Exactly.
category larger than itself.
So- Of
course,
It can
yeah.
grapple up to huge.
There we go.
It would pin you.
I'm pinned.
If you'll flip your card over, you'll see the pinned rules on the
I'm
back of your
pinned.
card.
Onuris with
Using condition
As
cards.
a side note, quick shout out to the Game Mastery condition cards. I love the crap out of
Those are
these
the
things.
best card deck to get, for sure.
Onuris would let out a swear in Ancient Assyrian, as he does when
I
things
can-
start to
I-
get a handbasket.
I take a
I
minus 4
recognize
penalty.
that.
You only learn the curse words?
Just like when you're learning any language.
Sagira,
You
for some
always
reason, is
learn
showing-
the curse words first.
I mean, that's the best words to know, but sure.
She probably heard him say it in the library. And finally was like,
Probably.
what does that mean? And he was like,
It means bleed.
You also take 3 points of damage.
Oh, okay. The damage isn't too bad, to be honest.
Let's be honest, at some point Sitra probably actively tried to like come up and scare you because she's super stealthy just to get you to say it.
Speaking of Citra being mean to
Crazy,
things,
crazy.
Citra.
I'm gonna
crazy
continue.
times in the library.
Scare it,
of
Citra.
Pentheru.
Scare it to death.
I'm gonna go for another palm strike and try to slice on a more vital area of this nasty
Nasty booty.
against this nasty thing.
It's like the yellow guy
All
from
right.
Sin City.
I
Anyway.
was trying to pause so he could cut that out.
Yellow guy. Sin City.
Oh my gosh, he is like the yellow guy from Sin City. Nasty.
I haven't seen that in forever.
Oh wait, I wasn't gonna use that dice.
I didn't even see the second one of those.
Did you look at your dice roll before going? Wait, I wasn't. using
No,
that.
no, I've been meaning to use this one because that one is
It's the devil.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan touched it with
I didn't do much better anyway. I only got an 8 on that one. Yeah, that's part of the reason.
An 8 will not hit your target even flanked.
I got Jordan
So-
luck on it.
Jordan hit last time. I don't think I could talk
I
about
was
Jordan.
gonna say, I critical last time.
Yeah, because he gave me his.
Ah, yes.
Speaking of Jordan,
Sudi's turn.
Sudi, kill it.
Take
kill
his
it.
dagger again. Yeah.
party still sits wedged in this corner.
Onuris literally has nowhere he can go. He is stuck.
Sagira's always cuddling things.
Sudi gets a 14, so
14? No.
no.
As Sagira sits there, struggles with this thing as it wraps both hands around her neck and
killing
starts
me.
squeezing. She just watches her party members ineffectually flail at it.
Hey, I hit it.
You did nick it for
I
like 1 point of damage. Well, you haven't hit it. You didn't hit it this round. It's more just like as the lights begin fading from Sagira's eyes as this thing starts
The last
choking
thing she
around.
sees is us whiffing.
I have
Yeah.
many hit points left, considering it does like 3 points a round.
Well, as long as it doesn't suffocate you.
That brings us to Sagira.
It hasn't started suffocation yet. I'm gonna try to escape because that is all I can do.
Yep. So escape artist or
do
combat
that.
maneuver bonus.
Well, since my dexterity is lowered, I'm gonna do my combat maneuver bonus.
Probably for the best.
Because otherwise they're the same. Oh, I rolled real bad. 13?
You would flail against this thing, but are unable to
With
break free.
Onuris' ranks and heal, does he know CPR?
Probably.
Just saying. For when she's not breathing.
Or you could like heal me or something.
On yours.
I'm gonna swing at the thing with a 18.
An 18 will strike your target.
Onuris will splash with Akentepe's Kopesh and
Get him,
manage to
Akentepe.
do 9 points of damage.
Get him.
You would still manage to viciously slice your blade into this thing's back. It continues to crush the life out of Sagira.
I think I lost my Kopesh, guys. I only get a 13 on my reflex save.
Your blade is just rammed stuck into its back as this as Sagira looks up at this almost porcupine-looking thing now with all these blades sticking up.
I'm gonna keep hold of it.
All right, that brings us to the adhere. What is your combat maneuver defense?
A 19?
19. Right, yeah,
I mean, that's not funny.
I was like,
I'm
does
sorry.
this thing even have to roll?
not really.
Yeah.
Hey, it rolls a nat 1.
It continues crushing you.
Ah,
You would take 8 points of damage as it
It hurt
begins
more this
digging
time!
its fingers into your neck. I was really rolling low for the damage before.
I'm hurt.
CPR,
I don't remember how
I know
good
it. Both.
CPR, you better heal me so I don't die! Because then it gets its full dex back. It becomes harder to hit. Says Jessica out of character. Because Sagira's going,
I was going to say, Sagira's not saying nothing.
Whose turn is it?
That will bring us to Sitra.
Alright, I'm gonna go for it again.
Murder it dead.
I'm
She
trying.
goes for the attack.
Okay, 21.
21? Yeah. You would wait until it would be distracted by, like, Onuris' blade burying into its back.
Where did it go? Rachel's having a real problem with keeping her dice
Apparently.
on the table today.
they're excited.
That would be 9 points of damage.
4 points of damage.
As it would turn its gaze back to you, you would bury your kukri to the hilt in its eye, dragging it down to the ground.
You poked it around the eye.
Stickily trying to shake yourself free of it.
I imagine it's very comical. Like, then I put my boot on its face to pull my kukri, and then my boot gets stuck, and so I put my other boot and then pull it off. And then I'm just like,
Sagira like looks at you and says, "Me!"
Sagira, it would roll off from on top of you, although its hands would slacken. They are still stuck to your neck as it would roll off,
on me.
flopping to the ground.
Can Sagira remove these hands?
What do you get taking 10 on a combat maneuver bonus?
17.
Not easily.
Somebody help me.
Sudi could aid another. Basically,
Okay. Grabbing onto it.
pulling on it as well and ripping it off and
Well.
Do you need
using his hand wraps to
healing?
keep himself from getting his first.
Are you seriously asking if I need healing? Do you not see my body covered in gross things and death? Look at this bruising. She points at her neck.
On yours gives you the same blank look I'm giving you right now.
On yours is the worst, man. Heal me, please.
You get 11 hit points back.
I need more. That gets me to half health. I had 6 hit points left.
all right. While Onuris is healing Sagira, Sitra.
Don't touch me, though, because you'll definitely, be stuck.
I have to touch you.
Touch the top of my head. I think it doesn't have goo on it.
Citra is going to try and wrench everybody's weapons off while the healing is going on for Sagira.
Okay. It'd be pretty difficult for you. It's a DC 17 strength check, but
Get another knockback.
Wow.
I can't build up my speed and just go.
No.
Run.
You know?
it's more just like tugging. It's more or less you can take the time to take 20 to wrench each one of them.
I'm down with
Yeah.
it. I
Have
should be
to do
okay,
that.
probably.
Yeah, I think even I have a +3 strength, and I wouldn't be able to.
I have a
take
+4.
10
I
to
could
it.
yank on it now that I'm not dead.
That's
I have a +0.
Incredible DC.
Okay, Sagira's gonna maybe be the one that yanks these weapons out.
No, you're getting healed. I'm doing this. I
Can you do this?
can if I take 20.
She can
Yeah.
take her time.
Oh,
to take
okay.
20.
I don't have much magic left, but we should be okay to carry on for a little while longer.
I'm so sticky.
Sudi recovers his thrown dagger and then takes the other one that actually
Unfortunately,
hit
I can
and
do nothing about the sticky.
yeah.
You
I
can't
guess he
bathe me
wipes
in
it off in
fire?
a pant leg or something because
That's
No.
not gonna
Gross.
help. That's just gonna stick your hand to your pant leg.
I don't know. I've got to have something to try to get it off of it so I can sheath it.
Create some more water. I don't know if that'll.
I'm just gonna
We
use
can
the
try
sticking.
that.
to
I mean, you
keep it
guys
in my
know that
hand.
the adhesive will fade away in an hour. The water does pretty much nothing.
Use the adhesive to stick it into your hand real good.
So I guess Sudi will carry a torch in one hand and the dagger in the other hand.
Are they glued together?
No.
Sagira's are.
But
Sudi actually
Created the
hit him.
torch dagger.
How much XP did we get for
Oh,
that monstrosity?
For defeating the adherer, you do garner experience. For defeating a challenge rating of 3, netting the party 200 XP.
removing the linen that's kind of on top of the altar, is there anything else on
No,
there?
and also that linen is now stuck to you because it's also covered in adhesive.
Stop touching things, cat.
Man, this is one of the times I really wish I had claws, so I could just have just a little baby
doing the
bit.
cat thing, where when you put a sticker on them and they
Yeah, and
freak
they
out.
flail their hand. Yeah, he's kind of doing that.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I am taking a long, scalding hot shower whenever I get back.
There's not really showers.
Yeah, I was like, the equivalent
What
of a
do they
shower
have
is
then?
create watering
That's-
on top of yourself.
that's pretty much
I will
it.
have a luxurious bath,
I will have a long, scalding hot bath.
and I will get someone to scrape me.
I think I would have preferred to fight the centipede over that.
You guys are like, we're gonna just celebrate by going to one of the nice bathhouses in town and getting some nice volcanic rock scrubs.
Yeah, some hummus.
Yes, that's
That sounds
is
like that'd be bad
definitely
for my skin, my fur.
You need a lice brush.
I was gonna say I just need like a really, really good brushing.
Sagira looks down. She's covered in stickiness. There's nothing she can do about it. Ooh, dirt. Is there dust on the ground?
Everywhere.
She covers herself in dust, so she's not sticky. She's just covered in dust.
Very well. That
That's
works.
not a bad idea, actually.
There's your-
So he takes his dagger and kind of runs it through the dirt as well.
Yep.
here's your Falcata.
So-
He's not gonna sheath it though, because that's dirty.
Falcata.
After everyone is finished with their dirt baths, on yours is like, so
I learned this trick from yours. No, not you. From Sudi.
Sudi!
The cat. I don't know.
there are stairs.
Do they end in the
I
man
have
made of
60
duct
foot
tape?
dark vision. What do I see? Down
You can
the
just see that
stairs?
they descend down about 20 feet and then enter into another room without a
20
door. You
about
can't see
20
anything
feet
else.
down, and there's a door.
All right, fine. Sagira is finished with her dust bath and takes her Kopesh And then motions for
You're Kopesh, you're not Falcata.
Yeah.
Here's your Falcata.
A falcata.
I mean, sorry, Kopesh. Sorry.
It's a weapon. It's fine.
Here's your Kopesh.
Here's your curved
Yes,
swordy
thank
thing.
you.
Take it.
And then I prepare to go down the stairs, and then I do a little hand waving motion for Sitra, go for it.
Also, do I look like your dog?
You have to check for traps.
Yeah, don't
You
treat
should-
me like that. I'll break your fingers.
Ask
you will not.
politely. She will break your fingers. by
Ask
the way.
politely,
If she can-
or you die.
If she can hit me. She didn't hit that thing very well.
Excuse me, I'm the one who got rid of it for you. Maybe I should have just left him with his sticky hands around your neck.
Sudi got his hands off me.
Not without losing a little bit of fur.
Also, I'm the one who killed it. He wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't killed it.
It's true. I'm not as effective with a dagger as I am with my fists.
You should be thankful.
Do you want a hug?
No, not when you look like that. Citra goes forward and checks for traps.
On your size, just a long, deep sigh.
Citra can make me a perception roll.
20.
Yeah, looks fine.
Looks good.
It looks clear to me.
I'm gonna open it.
Descend down
Let's
the
send
stairs.
down the stairs.
There's no door.
Oh,
You
I'm
haven't
just
seen
gonna go
any doors here.
downstairs.
Yeah, you're just gonna head
I'm
down the
checking
stairs.
all the steps, remember?
Oh, I thought there was a door.
Descending down the stairs.
Sagira plods down the stairs, grumpily.
Citra rolls her eyes.
On yours does the same thing.
You're not
from
covered in
behind.
this goo! I'm now dirt.
As you descend down the stairs, you would find that the stairs make their way down and into what appears to be another chamber. This one looks to be maybe only about 15 feet wide and probably about 30 feet in length. Citra, as you'd reach the bottom of the step and begin to kind of make your way off, you would feel the final step depress.
Oh, damn it.
I'm afraid that 20 was not high enough.
Gosh darn it. Tiddlywinks.
DC 25 perception check.
What?
Wait, do you
very
step
well.
on it or I step on it?
I thought she was taking point. To check just check every stair, right?
As the four of you,
Oh gosh.
walking in single file down this 20-foot staircase,
Lightning bolt.
would hear spears explode from every wall of the entirety of this staircase.
I'm gonna fall flat.
Do we
on
get a
the ground.
save?
Do we get a reflex?
It's an attack roll.
Oh.
All right, so starting with, you know what, I'll just go in order. So Sitra, 25.
Yeah.
Very well. I believe following that is Sagira with a 27.
Yeah.
Then it's on yours.
Onuris with a 30. Sudi, man, I did not roll low for any of these, with a 29.
Yeah. And we're all skewered.
And now we're dead. The end. Hope you like this adventure pack.
Citra, 6 points of damage. Sagira, 6 points of damage. Onuris, 4 points of damage. Sudi, 7 points of damage.
Ah!
Spears would explode in every direction, ramming through the length of this chamber as they would pierce through your arms and legs and pin back to the opposite side. They don't retract, as you would kind of stand here pinned to the wall.
Oh, wow.
Citra, you can disable device as there is a spear rammed through your left thigh. It is cleanly through.
Oh, it didn't shoot spears.
No,
No,
they
it
just
pushed
struck
spears,
through,
yeah.
so the entire room is just a line now of spears and shafts going through the entire length of it.
Sagira makes the longest sigh.
I'm sure it's through gritted teeth as you're hurting pretty bad.
This is the worst day.
No more going through the corridors alone, or in group.
It didn't matter if we were in a group or not.
This hurts so bad.
18 for disable this one.
Does not succeed.
Is it 22?
22? Yeah.
Okay.
Is that you taking 10?
Yeah.
Very well. You may make a perception roll while you're doing that.
Somebody's gonna come eat us.
Probably.
25.
For a moment, it takes you the better part of a minute as all of you are sitting here. Feasibly, if Onuris wants to cast any healing spells he can in that time.
Oh, there's no point in healing until the spears are removed from us.
Or channeling or something. For a moment, Citra, you'd see something. Something down here. Something small. Maybe a rat, although maybe too big for a rat. It's at the furthest edge of your light. Or the light that's cast by Sagira behind you from Onuris' light spell. And then it would simply seem to slink off. You would only see for a second reflective eyes staring at you from the darkness before it slinks deeper into the chambers. You would then find the trigger release, finding that this is actually a rather complex trap. in that effectively it's a 2-step trap. By stepping on the top step, you arm the trap, and then by stepping on the bottom step, you trigger it.
Whoever they hired for this one was good.
I'm glad he's dead now.
Yours probably actually lets out a chuckle at that.
I saw something in the other room. Eyes, but it disappeared.
Just 2 eyes?
Yes,
They
just
clearly
two.
spent a lot of money on this.
Well, they have a pool, so
Siriannis
they're very rich.
They don't play around with the afterlife.
I'll actually allow anyone that wishes to make me a knowledge history, or I'd say even a disabled device.
I have knowledge history.
I don't have these things.
I'm going to get a 13 knowledge history.
Onuris gets an 18 on knowledge history.
I get a 30 on disabled device.
Okay. With your 18 knowledge history, as well as your 30 on disabled device, simply because you've studied numerous ancient Osiriani traps, many of the ancient Osiriani trap designers believed that it was better to prevent thieves from escaping rather than attempt to stop them from entering. It was better just to make this their tomb once they got down here.
I'm glad they're dead.
Did we have traps on the crypt at home?
Well, I'm positive, although you probably never triggered any of them. There's probably a lot of warnings when you were back at home of don't touch this step, don't step there, don't meet the gaze of this statue.
Okay, when we go to break into your house, you're going to let us know all the tracks.
There are traps at the house at home, the house I grew up in. There were certain steps we knew not to step on.
Wow.
That
Thanks.
would have been nice to know before.
I didn't know the traps laid out here. It could be anything.
What would the DC be to, like, brace yourself on either side of this?
And break your
Brace
mic
yourself
stand.
on-
And bust your mic. To, like, brace yourself on either side of this and actually just, like, crab walk down the thing instead of stepping on any of the stairs. Because that might be Sudi's new...
climb
Sudi
check.
is now scared of stairs.
I do have a natural climb speed, so I could just climb, but...
Let's continue down the stairs,
Gracious. This is
We're
one
at
of those
the bottom step, right?
I'm gonna
The
get
bottom step
paranoid.
triggered it.
Yeah.
shall we? Well, she's on the bottom step, then you're behind her. And
Just
then
don't step on that step.
experience for that.
Oh, yeah, trap.
You do garner experience for defeating a challenge rating of 3, so just as difficult as the adherent you fought
Ow.
previously. Netting the party 200 XP.
And then we enter the room.
So, and in answer to your question, Jordan, I would probably put it around a DC 20 or so, just to
Okay.
effectively press yourself, although you have a natural climb speed.
Yeah,
so
it
you
wouldn't
do that
matter for me.
without
I was just thinking for everybody else. So, yeah, that'd be actually pretty difficult.
Onuris is not doing that. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Reaching the bottom of the steps, though. The chamber beyond, again, as previously stated, is about 15 feet wide, about 30 feet in overall length. A wide exit makes its way out of the chamber, a wide arch, making its way deeper into this complex on the right-hand side. You've seen no doors. All of these have just been open archways. This is probably wide enough for 2 people to stand abreast, although a second exit exits off of this chamber opposite of the entryway that you've just come in, and is only about 5 feet wide. The air in this chamber is cool. The walls and ceiling are tiled with stone, but the floor is hard-packed earth, giving almost an unfinished look to this place. A long stone table would rest against the wall off towards your left, flanked by 2 large brass urns.
I guess.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, Sagira, did you take Profession Embalmer or something? I thought you were looking at something like that.
I took Profession Undertaker.
Undertaker. You may roll that.
Yeah!
She's so excited.
I get a 16.
This is a preparation chamber.
This is a preparation chamber where they would prepare the body to be interred.
Yes, this is where they'd be laid in state and mummified. This would also give an opportunity to effectively have the family come down here and visit the body before it was interred in its final resting.
There are 2 doors off of this chamber.
Well,
There are 2 arches leading out of this room.
I want to know what's in those urns.
All right.
So Sagira's going to lightly, carefully, tiredly step toward the closest one.
Very well. Approaching the 2 urns.
They animate their mimics. Roll initiative.
I'm not grappling that.
There are also torch holders in each of the 4 corners of this room. Approaching towards the 2 urns, each one of these are large and brass. You may make me a appraise check if you so wish.
18.
18. You would know that these were used during the mummification process. More likely than not, they were here to hold the salt that would have been used to dry out the body, as well as the other one probably for the nitrates and such. Rarer incenses would have been brought in here, not simply stored down here. Mm-hmm. Each one of these are empty. So they have not been used in some time. They are massive in size. You don't think that they're actually worth all that much, although they weigh about 200 pounds each.
Wow.
Ooh.
So
Ouch.
they may not be actually worth the effort of dragging them out of here.
No.
Okay.
Right or left?
Let's go to the left.
Anyone that has a knowledge engineering may roll that as well.
Nope.
Nope.
Not this party, huh?
A lot
You
of
guys
not this
assigned
party.
all
I
the
thought
knowledge
Sudi
skills.
had ranks in knowledge engineering.
I lied. I do have ranks in knowledge engineering. Hey.
I was like, I know we've rolled that before.
Hey.
Somebody in this party has it.
I get an 8.
8? Yep. It's a building.
Okay.
You may or may not be below ground.
I'm going to refrain from actually saying anything about that. So.
To the left, since that's the direction Sudi chose. Remember that, everyone.
There's no door on the left-hand
I
side.
thought, well, there's 2 exits.
There's a wide double arch off towards your right-hand side, and then parallel the entryway that you came
Okay,
in,
then
so
we can go
directly across
straight.
is a single.
So straight.
Straight? All right. So by left, you mean straight.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, we're going off of the side passage, not the ones that lead straight across. That seems like the safest thing to do.
Yep. This one would funnel you guys back into a narrow passage.
Don't like.
Sudi will hang back and let everybody else move forward.
Sitra will move first so she can desperately
A note to
try
game masters out there: players don't like when you use the term funnel. We'll funnel you.
Oh, we also just got speared.
We also
in
just
the
got
face.
speared in a corridor, and I'm pretty keen on not having that happen again.
Is that,
Sagira's gonna look for traps too,
You may both roll a
just
perception
in
check.
case.
I mean, feasibly, you can aid another on.
I help you.
When Onuris notices Sudi's not going, he just sort of looks at him.
I'm waiting
cat.
for the all clear.
You aid?
I aid you.
21.
Yeah, it looks fine.
That's what you said last time.
That is what I said last time.
Well, then you can check for traps next time. It's not as easy as it looks, people.
I helped. I have faith in you because I helped you. But I am gonna try to put as few footsteps on the ground as possible. Take huge steps, just really big ones, so that I don't touch all the ground
What
Okay.
are you doing?
on my tiptoes.
I mean, Sitra would feel more comfortable due to the fact that this is just packed earth. This isn't worked stone anymore
that's
at this
right.
point, so
Just
it'd be
kidding.
much more difficult for them to hide a pressure plate or anything in here. So unless it was just a simple covered pit trap or something.
I'm going to
Just-
gingerly and daintily step, but not with giant steps because I forgot it wasn't stone.
Making your way forward. This hall is short. It's only about 10 feet in overall length and exits out into what appears to be another room. The walls here are unadorned. This room is tiny in size. From where you stand to the opposite side, no more than about 10 feet, maybe about 15 feet in length, although you're coming in on the center of the room, so only about 5 feet off towards your left and right. 2 archways exit from this chamber. One of them makes its way to the left, although it only continues for maybe a good 12, 13 feet. The walls there are unfinished. A number of blocks have been put in place to effectively keep the dirt sealed and out of the way, but they have not been treated. There have been no carvings here. And then the passage ends there with excavation still going on, as if they were expanding this tomb, but it seems to have been abandoned halfway through.
You know, because madness.
It probably also means that the rest of this mausoleum is full.
The archway off towards your right goes for about, you'd say, some 15 feet or so before entering into another room.
What's in there?
You guys make your way down that other archway? Or that other passage?
I guess, yeah.
On
It would
tippy
funnel
toes.
you back down to 5 feet as you make your way.
On tippy.
Continuing on.
Looking for traps.
Sudi once
for
again
traps again.
waiting for the all clear.
I aid you, and you're looking.
Get a 21 again.
Slash watching our rear. That's what he's going to do to make it look cool.
Doing rear guard. What'd you make on your perception?
21 again.
21? Yeah, it looks fine.
Tiptoeing forward.
Tiptoeing your way forward. You would enter into a large chamber.
Actually,
And I'm not going to
Actually
take that back.
large?
It's actually large.
Okay.
Effectively, this passage would make its way forward before reaching a 10-foot wide other passage. This one also seems to be expanded. So effectively, like they carved up until this point, they made this hall that adjoined to this one, and then they were in the process of expanding this hallway. The archway opens up to the south of you, and you can see a chamber that is rather spacious, about 20 feet at a side, which isn't overly large, although you'd say it's probably maybe 50 feet in length, as you can only catch the furthest shadowy recesses of it with the light spell. Since as a human you have regular vision, and so you can actually only see 40 feet, the illumination from the light spell. So you actually can't see the end of it. Sagira, however, with her low light vision, can see the far side of this chamber. The earthly scent that has pervaded this place is strong in this chamber. The ceiling and walls are tiled with stone, but the ground is bare earth, much like the first chamber or the second chamber that you entered. Stone benches are set against the walls on both your right and left-hand side, and torch holders are mounted in the corners on either side of the wide doorway that would make its way into this chamber from your right-hand side. You would know that this is the other end of the passage from the preparation chamber. So effectively, that archway would have just led into this room as well.
Oh, that.
As you glance about, you can see that there are the beginnings of several shallow, rough passages that have started along the wall off towards your left-hand side. But the excavations seem to be incomplete, ending in earth and rubble after only a few feet. At the far end of this chamber, opposite of where you've come in, Sagira would be able to see as it's outside of Citra's visual range, what appears to be a set of short, wide steps. These descend down a very short distance, probably no more than about 3 or 4 feet, before ending in a wide set of double doors. The only doors that you've seen up until this point.
There are steps.
This is unusual.
Is it?
Well, why would you dig so far in a straight line, more or less, and then come to these sets of stairs that are just a little bit lower than the rest?
Because everybody died, didn't they?
Well, because it's cool.
No, this part is completed, though, because there's doors.
Perhaps they
doors
hadn't
before.
finished
Maybe there's
putting in the shelving.
Or there's a secret door in here.
You think maybe this is a false door?
Or a secret passage.
I think those are real doors.
It could be.
We haven't seen any bodies anywhere, right?
No,
No.
you have not.
That is probably the original tomb way down there. And then this would be an area that you could add shelving to put your bodies
Put
in.
the urns in the canoptic jars? Mm-hmm. Maybe.
And then they were obviously expanding. They expected to have many, many future generations that lived in this house.
I mean, I wouldn't blame them. They were a prosperous family, clearly.
But, plagues and stuff. Are you going to look for secret doors?
Yep.
I was like, yeah, we should
Sitra will keep an eye peeled for those eyeballs that... Jessica, Sagira is going to keep an eye peeled.
If you are searching for secret doors, just to give you a heads up,
I rolled a 1, so I don't think I'm going to find anything.
I think it's more of a time thing.
yeah, it'll probably take you about 5 minutes.
I think we have 5 minutes.
I will need a perception check from the party, though.
Oh, no.
That's better.
I was looking for monsters, but I got a 10.
Sudi gets a 25.
Cedric gets a 22.
Onuris gets a 15.
And Citra is searching the room for hidden passages. Sagira, you are
I was looking for monsters.
checking for monsters. Sudi,
Rear guard.
rear guard. Very well. On yours.
I guess I'm just keeping an eye out.
All right.
Because
Did you
Citra
guys-
said something about eyes earlier.
Just to make sure of this and not
Oh,
tipping my
jeez.
hand. Did you guys heal?
No.
I know you discussed doing it, but
No, we haven't.
No.
okay. You decided not to?
Yeah, we're
All right.
bleeding everywhere.
I mean, Onuris is only down by 4, so...
I'm
I'm
down
down by
by
11 at this point.
yeah, I'm
by
down
10.
by 9.
We'll worry about that soon.
Oh, Lord.
Sudi, you would hear a slight movement. Not from the chamber that you're watching here. Well, not from effectively the hallway that you're checking behind you. But your ear would pivot into the chamber. Citra would make her way along the wall off towards your right-hand side, checking over the wall and looking for any signs of traps. Sagira at this point has walked over towards the other archway leading out of this chamber and is keeping an eye both in the preparation chamber and watching towards those double doors, which seem to be the immediate threat from this room. Onuris seems to be more or less just kind of taking in this entire place, maybe lost in some sort of thought pertaining, he was just recently bringing up his own family in their crypt. You would see the light from the spells glint off of something. And after a moment, you would see a pair of eyes set low to the ground. And then you would see a second pair. Further off, you would see a third, as something would slink around from by the base of one of these stone benches set against the surrounding walls. And then a fourth, as sleek, skeletal, emaciated figures. The bony remnants of long-dead cats would step forth, each one of them bearing what seems to be a gash set at the base of their throats, as if ritualistically killed and interred with their master aeons ago. Then would come a fifth, and a sixth,
Cat's
and
one.
another 6. And then at this point, almost 24, as you would see scores of eyes staring out at you from every direction. They would begin letting out low hisses as all of you become aware before the cats would fall forward in a hairless waterfall of screeching, hissing, clawing death. And we will pick it up here next time. Thank you for listening, guys. I will point out
They're
real
not small.
quick before we go any further, this encounter and the picture for this encounter is what sold me on this adventure path more than anything of just a deadly swarm of undead cats.
But they're not diminutive, so it's okay.
They're not diminutive.
Yeah, so we can
there is
actually do
that.
damage to them.
So yeah, round 3 against swarms on our next episode.
Jeez.
Thank you for listening, Pathfinder.